Hey guys, here with a new thing. What we're doing today is each week we're going to come up with both a Fit Chicks and also a Spartan Training Club workout of the week. This week's been the start of a new program which has been great. Everyone's been ripping in. There's all sorts of, there's three main programs going on. One for hypertrophy, one for strength, and there's another one for fat loss. Because it's been such a big week, a lot of new exercises to learn, suddenly a fair bit of volume again. We've got all of May to get through this program, but it's been quite a shock on the body. So what I've come up with today is a workout of the week that involves 5 stations of 5 minutes each, and there's 2 exercises on each station that you'll transition between. So starting off, number 1, we're going to do frogs and squats. I'll show you what they look like. Station 1. Remember, we've got the 2 exercises each time we've got a station. We've got 5 minutes on the clock, and we're just going to try and transition between those 2 exercises. And on station 1, it really works through your squat mobility as well as a bit of hamstring work as well. So this one we always do in our warm-ups. We try and get the heels elevated, squat down into your best squat position. Remember to keep your upper body nice and tall and in good posture. I focus on pushing the knees out while I'm here. You might choose to do this for 30 seconds, you might be here for a minute. Just continually try and work on getting your squat depth down. After a couple of minutes, you might choose to do this without the platform, but you also need quite good ankle mobility, and it's okay to try variations of both. So we'll spend some time here. Let's say I'm here for a minute. Okay, that's going to be my first attempt at squat mobility. From there, I'm going to transition out into more hamstring work. So it's important that you keep your back nice and flat, that you're not just bending at the spine. We're really just tilting from the hips. You might feel that here, or you might be able to get down a little bit lower. But it's all about tilting from your hips and not so much your spine. So really feel that stretch up the back of the hamstrings. I might hold here for another 30 seconds to a minute. So we're 2 minutes into a 5-minute spell. I'll go back to my squats again for a while, and this time around I might get that set up, nice straight back again, knees are going to go out, and I'm going to add the twists this time. Now I might hold each twist for 5 to 10 seconds, like so. Or I might just go knees out for a while, quick twist, play around with this. You're here for 5 minutes, all types of variations of just the deep squat, the squat with reach, so it's great for that thoracic mobility, and getting the hamstring work. You're going to be here for 5 minutes. Don't feel bad if you need to just stand up and shake those legs out. Sometimes I might even just throw up a quad stretch, keep your knees together, nice and tall, and spend the next 5 minutes working on your squat and hamstring mobility. Alright guys, so here we have it. We're on the wall, we've got all this great equipment we can use, and all we needed was a wall. So you've all seen the wall slide position. We're going to sort of split it into 2 halves, I guess. So the Y is really the top part of the wall slide. Concentrate on keeping your lower back flat to the wall. You're going to get your head on the wall also. We bring the arms up into a Y shape. Now a lot of people are going to just struggle to hold this position. They might find that their lower back just really wants to come away from the wall, and they end up with a bit more of an arch, and the pelvis tilts back. That's why we want to limit that. So try your best to sort of tilt your pelvis forward, squash your lower back against the wall. The other thing, the key point to focus on is what happens behind your wrists. We've talked about limiting the amount of bend in the wrists that we have. Now a lot of people can't help that at this stage, but there's this big gap between the wall and the back of their wrists. We want to learn to straighten that out over time so the back of the wrists stay nice and flat against the wall. Lower back squashed, head on the wall, up in a Y shape. The top half of a wall slide is what I call the Y. We're still in a Y sort of shape there, up into a big Y. So this is like a mini wall slide from the top to about halfway down. I will do Ys for about 30 seconds to a minute. I'll just roll my shoulders and give them a bit of a break. Remember, we're going to be here for 5 minutes. Take a couple of deep breaths. This time around, I'll be a little less strict. If my wrist comes off the wall a little bit, I'm not too concerned about that. But we start in a Y, we drag it right down, and I call that a W shape. Now, the further we pull down, the more likely it is that that gap is going to open up a lot more. So I'm pretty good with my right arm. I can keep that pretty much all the way down. I can keep the back of the wrist against the wall. With my left hand, it's a little less flexible. The lower I go, the more that gap opens up here on my left. So try the Y's with a quicker kind of speed for about 30 seconds. Rest. Then the second time around, stand tall, slow your pace down, but take it more into that W shape, right up. W, right up. Give that a go. You'll be here for 5 minutes. You're going to take a couple of breaks during that time, but spend some time on the wall and improve your shoulder mobility. Rightio, station 3, what we've got is Spider-Mans and hip flexors. Here's how the Spider-Man looks. Get down into a nice plank position. It's important that you're not just on your hands and feet here. You're actually holding quite a tight position. So I activate my lats, I'm squeezing my glutes, and I'm holding a really strong plank position to start. That's an important piece. From here, left foot is going to go beside my left hand. Out there. Now early on, I'm keeping my right knee at the back. I'm keeping that off the floor. Remember, you're here for 5 minutes. So later on, it's quite okay to do this stretch if you need to plonk that knee down on the floor. And I recommend doing versions of both. But early on, I'm keeping the right knee up off the floor. I've got that tight plank position with my lats. And I add the rotation through that thoracic spine. I watch my hand all the way up, might hold it there, hand back down, step. I'm going to get the other foot outside. Nice tight plank position, back knees up off the floor. Here we go again on the other side. I'm going to watch that hand all the way around. Great thoracic mobility through your upper back, but it's a really good hip flexor stretch for your back leg, and you're getting some core stability training out of it as well. So 5 minutes is a long time here. So I recommend doing one on each side, giving it a good hold as you twist to each side. I'll just drop down to my knees, have a little bit of a break. I'll transition between doing that one, getting the plank set again, big step. This time my knee's going to go down to the floor. I'll add the twist. Sometimes I won't add the twist, but I'll bring my body up and I'll just turn it into a hip flexor stretch. So you feel this stretch kind of running from the top of your thigh right up into your stomach, and that little bit of a lean over the side really helps sort of finish it off. So hip flexor stretches, Spider-Mans, great thoracic mobility, great hip flexor stretching, a little bit of core stability with it as well. Give it a go. You're here for 5 minutes. Take as many little breaks between exercises that you need. You're going to get a lot out of that one. Rightio, here we are with station 4. What we're going to do is transition between push-ups, which I know a lot of guys are happy to do, but we're going to transition between something that you do like and probably something that you're not that familiar with, which is yoga. We're going to transition between doing push-ups and also the downward dog from yoga. So we get down into a nice plank position. Again, I'm going to have the hands out wide, but I'm going to make the elbows tucking nice and close towards my body. So you can decide how many you do here. I might usually do around 3 good push-ups. I'm just taking my time, making it a really good push-up, tight legs, tight glutes, elbows tucked. Once I get my 3 push-ups done, I'm going to then transition back to downward dog. So I'm going to keep my heels slightly elevated, but I'm really just focused on getting my hips towards the ceiling as best I can. For me, I feel that through the hamstrings and glutes, and the calves get a bit of a hiding as well. Other people might get more through their upper body. It just depends on exactly how you're positioned in downward dog, but I want to show you from the side angle as well. So we get into that push-up, we keep the body nice and tight, glutes tight, legs tight. Then we're going to keep the elbows tucked as we push up. 1 good push-up. Drop, 2 good push-ups, nice and low, 3 good push-ups, transition back. We're in downward dog here. Try not to move your head around too much. We try to lead with our chest, so chest towards the floor, hips or sitting bones getting up towards the ceiling. Just feeling a nice deep stretch here. Prepare yourself to be here for around 30 seconds. Breathe your way through it. When you finally have enough of that, You can go back to being a man, set yourself up, do your push-ups again. There you go, buddy. You've got your manly workout. Now go back to just doing a bit of yoga just to balance it out. Righto, we're here on the plyo boxes under the Wall of Fame. The last station, which again you'll be here for 5 minutes. You're going to transition between 2 exercises. It says hips and lats. What we're doing, we're going to get one ankle up onto the other knee. We're going to try and get into a nice tall sitting posture. We don't want to be kind of slouched while we're sitting. So sit up nice and tall. I'll keep this foot in place with my left hand. Sometimes I'll use the right hand to just put a bit more pressure down on that knee. But don't lose your great sitting posture as you just start to lean forward a little bit. So remember that you're not bending at your spine and trying to get down as low as possible. We're sitting up tall, we're going to tilt from the hips, and you'll find you don't need to sit very much at all before you start to get a great hip stretch. It's into your piriformis in your hip here. Your glutes are sort of getting a good workout out of this as well. But posture, slight tilt, spend 30 seconds to a minute here. Obviously we'll do the other leg, but the other exercise that we're going to transition between is just a great stretch for your pecs and your lats. You might feel it predominantly more in one of those spots, depending on where you might be tight. So hands are going to go up on the box. I'm going to drop myself down into like a child's pose position. I'm going to try and lead with the chest. So try and pull your chest towards the floor rather than just dropping your head down. Always try and remember to keep your head and neck in a quite neutral position, but let's lead with the chest. Pull your chest towards the floor. Like I said, pecs, lats, they're getting a great stretch from that, but it's going to be even better if I just focus on breathing deep while I'm here. So inhale through your nose, exhale and see if you can sink a little bit lower. Big deep breath in through your nose. Exhale and sink again. There you have it, 30 seconds to a minute-ish. Go back to trying to stretch out your hips. Depending on how you feel this week, you might spend more time kneeling to give the upper body a bit of mobility, or you might spend more time doing the hip mobility because you've smashed yourself with squats, lunges and deadlifts. I want you to get a bit of both, but it's up to you how you spend the majority of that 5 minutes. Give it a go. There's your first Spartan workout of the week. Great mobility session. I think we'll be using this a little bit more often, so go back to this video, watch it over and get the most out of your training by staying mobile so you can get strong.